Well, hello everybody. I'm just kind of setting up my station here. I just totally bumped my camera, so hopefully you didn't see that. Welcome everybody. Today we are going to make some Christmas cards, some foiled Christmas cards. Look how pretty. I absolutely love these. This is using the Glaminator, which I have here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. So up in the corner, you can see, whoops, right here in the corner. I have it setting on a box, and I'll explain why in a minute. So up here in the corner, this is the different settings you can do. You can do cold laminate, hot laminate, or foiling. And today we're going to do foiling. So we're going to go ahead and get that prepped. This takes about 5 minutes from a cold setting. And what I've done is I've placed it on a box. You don't have to place it on a box. The only reason why I have done that is because when I originally was messing around with it, I have a craft mat here as the base of my table, and it cannot take heat. And even though this thing does not get super, super hot, I mean, I'll show you, I'll put my hands all over it and everything. It was hot enough and it was sitting on my desk long enough. I think I had it on and off for about an hour, hour and a half playing around with it when I first got it. And it kind of warped and bubbled my craft mat below me. So fortunately, everything settled down and it got all nice and smooth and it wasn't a problem. But for filming purposes, because I don't want to bubble and warp and destroy my craft mat, I love my craft mat, I am putting it on a box. It's just a wooden box, and I have this sitting on the ground so I don't, whatever. So it's just to protect my craft mat is the bottom line. So that's why that's up there like that. Okay, so today we're going to make 2 separate cards, and I did not come up with this printable, but the printable is down below in 2 different forms. There was an amazing person who put a printable up, and I just searched Christmas printable, and I found these, and it was from the same site. She had them as large, and you could print them off as 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, just as on black on cardstock and frame it kind of thing. I like those would be super cute cards. So what I did is I went ahead and I sized it down, and I put 4 to a page. So when it prints like this. So I have 4 Christmas trees and I have 4 deer per page, just like that. Good morning, Mary Pat. How you doing? And so it prints just like this. And then all I did is I sliced it in half. So here you can see I sliced it. And heads up, when you print, make sure you print on a laser printer, because it's the toner that is going to be what you want. Inkjet, not going to work. It needs to be laser because it's the toner that picks up all the foil. So if you do not have one, there is papers out there that are already, there's some card stocks. You can buy them like that already, so you don't have to print it. But if you have a printer, and guys, a laser printer, like a Canon laser printer, which is what I'm using, I think it's like 60 bucks. It's not that bad. Plus it's like a printer. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. So I went ahead and I trimmed down 2 more, which we're going to do today. So it looks pretty plain, looks kind of boring and kind of blah when you just see it sitting on a card like that. But as soon as you have the foil, it's like amazing and wow. So I decided, because it's Christmas trees, we're going to do it in green. So the transfer foil actually has it in green, and I have already cut it down to size. So I have a piece that is already cut down to size. This comes, I have it in the wrong bottle. Look at that. It says silver. This is the green. Apparently my green bottle is somewhere, or I flipped them. So in here you get 6 inches, so it's 6 inches long and it's by 5 feet. And it's not strips, it's one giant long strip. So you can cut, 40 feet if you want to, not 40 feet, but you could cut like a whole, 2 feet strip and lay it out and do whatever you want. You can cut small sections, large sections. It's all on one giant roll. And then I have already used up so much of my gold that I have just enough gold left over to do our tree. And you know what? There's going to be some extra. I just want to make sure I don't have gaps. When I did this one, I made the mistake. I had a small section. It's like, oh, I have another one. And I laid them out and I got this black line, which I kind of like. I like the rustic look of this one and how it's got kind of this distressed look. But at first I was like, I don't want the black line. So we'll just do a full foil and we'll see what that looks like. Okie dokie. So while that's still heating up, I learned a trick. So on Monday, I did my unboxing and I just showed you guys a few tips and tricks. My first tip and trick to you is when I first went through and I foiled this, I did not realize, and I was working on a project which is coming. So there is a fun thing happening at the end of the month. I can't divulge too much yet, but just stay tuned. There's more Glaminator funness coming, let me tell you. So I was playing around and getting all my stuff prepped for that. And I was looking to, I'll basically tell you what I did. I was putting down a thing. I'm like, I just want to foil that one Christmas tree. So I went in and I put my foil down like that. Oh, see, look, it beeped. That means it's ready to go. So I put my tree down like that. I closed it. And, I made sure that everything was within the pouch. This is like the carrier pouch. And I ran it through like that. Well, guess what else is exposed? All of these other trees. And all of these have toner on them, and that toner transferred to my carrier sheet. And every time I run this through now, if I do not 100% cover up my paper, let's say if I just did this and I place this right here, that star part is going to transfer to my paper. So I did a boo-boo, and I'm getting new ones. They're coming in. You can get them. But somebody told me a little trick, and it works. Oh my gosh, I tried it, and 100% works. They said just take 2 sheets of copy paper, and here you can see I already had one where I ran it through. 2 sheets of copier paper, lay it down, place what you want in there, just like this. Place your other sheet of copy paper on top, and use this as your carrier sheet. You don't even need a plastic part. I was like, well, how? And I tried it, and it works, so let's do that. Just for grins and giggles, and I'm telling you it works. The only reason why I'm a little hesitant to show it on camera, which not hesitant, but why I'm not going to show it on camera, is because if I do this, I let go, and it slides out, right? So it's not as firm as the protective carrier sheet. So then I was like, well, I can't go directly onto here because it's going to cause and transfer. So why don't I take my sandwich that I made with my copy paper and place that inside my carrier sheet? And it worked just fine too. Basically, it's just the heat, all you need to do. And now this is just a little bit more firm. And the rollers are always going. You don't have to hit a button to get it to feed. You just kind of slide it in and it takes it. See, it's going. It's going. It's going. So just to show you, as I was talking about with the heat, slides a little closer to everybody. Yeah, it's on and I can touch it. You also know that it's ready because there's 2 little lights up here, and the lights don't show very well on camera, but there's an X that says not ready, and there's a little check mark that says ready. And so just make sure you have this dial on there. Oops. Oh, there it goes, crud. Look, it slid because I was messing around. Oh, we're gonna have to redo that one. That one got messed up. Did you guys see what happened? It slid out. Even with the carrier sheet, I was messing and I was tilting because I tilted it and it slid right out. So we're going to have to redo that one. Live TV at its best. So just make sure you have it. The release button, I could have done the release. Actually, I didn't even think about that. I should have just popped it out. But the first one worked just fine. So I'll just slide that back. We'll have to redo that other one, which means I got to recut it. I didn't have another one cut. And you can see the very, very hint, like that little bit, you guys can't see it, part of this transferred over to here onto my copy paper. So look, see how the toner transferred? And it came from there. So now I've got like a half a deer. But I think I can still get that. You know what? I don't have to reprint. I'm just going to do this. We're going to pop this right here, just like that. I don't have to reprint it. Take care of my oopsie. Do that. We'll take this one out. We'll pop this back in. Make sure I'm not by my toner. We're not going to see the back side of the card anyway. So here's a way to kind of fix your oopsie. There we go. You got it? Let me show you. We'll just do the paper this time so you guys can really see what I mean by that. Get rid of the plastic altogether, and I'll just make sure I hold this. So gotta be a little careful with it. But this is a way to not have a ton of transfer sheets. You can just use the paper to run it through, because all it needs is something. You can't have the foil directly on there. You need to have something covering the foil. So basically, if you make a sandwich with paper, you're good to go. I wouldn't recommend super thick paper because you don't want it to get stuck. So copy paper, perfect. There we go. You like when oopsies happens. Welcome to my channel. The oopsies are galore. But you know what? We all make mistakes. I'm human. We all have our fallible moments. And yeah, it's showing that nobody's perfect, which, you know, you see somebody make a mistake and you're like, haha, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that can do that. Yeah, I totally make mistakes all the time. There we go. It's almost out. There we go. It popped out. So magic reveal, and we'll do the reveal of both of them together. So that was just with paper, guys. Remember, just paper. So here we go. Look at that. Ta-da. So there is a little bit of a line right here, as you can tell that it was like done 2 separate times. So not much I can do about that unless I wanted to redo the whole thing. I mean, if I wanted to go through and kind of like redo this, but you know, I think it's good enough. And then here's the reveal on the trees. Look how pretty. So gorgeous. And there's a bajillion colors. the green came out of a color pack, and there was purple, there was pink, there was red, there was green, and blue. So it came out of a color pack, and they all came in these big giant tubes. You can also get a color pack that's got copper, silver, and gold. And when you buy the machine, it comes with a roll of gold already. So, I mean, you could do the cards in gold. I mean, you wouldn't need to buy the extra packs if you wouldn't want to. I also will save these. So one thing I'll do is I'll pop open my little tubes, and I already have one in here. This is left over from a cut, and I didn't use the whole thing. So I will come in, and it's rolled the wrong way, but that's okay. And I will roll these little guys back up because there's a lot left over, and I will slide that in there and save it for another time because I'm stingy. I don't want to waste it. And I used up my gold, but look how much gold is still left on here. So I'm going to cut this real fast, because you never know, I might just need a word or something, and that's a lot of gold still left over that I could really use. So I'm just going to pop this open, and when you get this, well, I'll do it later. It's all taped up right now, but you can usually pop this open. It comes on a big roll, and so you can actually unroll the whole thing, pull the roll out. There's a roll in here. You can see where it was stuck down. I am so tempted to use these rolls now for something because I just think they're cool. Who else is here? Hey, Darlene, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the Glaminator. That's it. That's as hard as it takes. And look, I'm holding the whole thing. It's been on. I'm hanging on to the whole thing. It's very, very quiet. I mean, the rollers are going inside of it, and you can barely even tell. So let me just pop this off my desk so we have more room. There we go. So now we have our cards. Oops, I just hit my camera. I need to move the camera. Oh, that's really bad. I'm sorry, guys. I have the camera sitting right next to where my chair is, and I just moved my chair and whacked the crap out of the camera. So you saw a nice big blur happening. Okay, so could you mass produce these? Yeah, I mean, you could even, if you wanted to, you could take this, because the Glaminator takes a full 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, stick your foil down, run the whole thing through at once. Same with the Christmas trees, or you can do a piece bill. You can cut them up first and then run them through individually. But I mean, look how much you can get out of that. It's pretty cool. You could also, if you were really, really, really careful, and depending on how you did it, you could do like the top tree in gold and all the bottom trees in green. So it looks like it's a little bit more Christmassy. It's just kind of a fun way of changing it up a bit. As always, I will have a live Facebook, not live Facebook, but a recorded Facebook coming up soon. And so I might try that with the Christmas tree with the gold on the top and the green at the bottom, so that you guys can see something a little different. All right, so this is, oops, I'm way off. This is where we are going. So let's get all of our layers out on my pieces. Let's do this one first. So I have a whole bunch of paper here from Adorn It. So I cut up a whole bunch of Adorn It. They have really cute papers. Links for everything is down below for you guys. And they're affiliate links, which basically means if you click on it, sometimes I get paid per click. Sometimes I get paid if you purchase something. It just helps fund all of these fun videos for you guys. Keeps the ball rolling, right? It doesn't cost anything for you to click it. And if you don't buy anything, don't buy anything. No big deal. You got some awesome inspiration. That's how I look at it. I mean, I watch other people's videos, so that's the way it all works. And just by watching videos, you're helping support the channel. Yay. Thumbs up, thumbs up. So I cut up some papers. I have this bright, I was about to say yellow, sorry, red. It's a bright yellow. I said it again. Bright red. This one here, I use this paper. And then I also have this one. So I thought maybe we do the bright red. I just said correct this time. So we use the bright red this time. So we'll change it up and go this route. And then I just stuck with a white cardstock. Got a whole bunch ready to go. We're going to do two. We're going to do one of each together on film. I thought craft looked really pretty. Black would also look really good. I just wanted something to kind of set it off. And so we're going to pull out our tape runner. And I did print this on just copy paper, mostly because the printer that I currently have doesn't like heavy cardstock very much. It tends to kind of smear, or it might be the cardstock I'm running it through, but it likes copy paper just fine, no problems there. And so I just tend to print everything on the copy paper and then back it with something a little bit more sturdy like cardstock, and you're good to go. So look how gorgeous. You can definitely tell there's a difference between the way I ran it. I don't know if it's because I turned the foil, I don't know, or because it ran through twice. It's all good. So layering it up, so you're just seeing a little hint of those colors in the background. Just something different. There we go. Hey, Valencia. So I'm using my Xyron Mega Runner and just layering up fun colors. There we go. So it just gives you just a little bit of a hint of a color in the background. So it's not so white, white, white. You could definitely go with a very white card, and that would look so pretty too, because you would have white. I already stuck it all together, but you could do just a plain white, a little bit thicker of a craft, and then it makes it more of a little more rustic-y looking card. So I was playing around with all the different dies. I have this really cute die. Here it is. So I got this die. This is a Sue Wilson Craft Dies from Creative Expressions. It's just a nice, I knew when I got to Christmas, and I bought this like 6 months ago, I knew I'd be wanting to have lots of Christmas dies. I actually picked up a couple of them. This is the bigger one. So just to show you the comparison. So here is the bigger size. And I always lay them down and go, do I like it? It's usually a little smaller. And I cut it in 3 different colors. I had the black. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It's hiding. So first I was like, oh, I'm going to do it in black. And I was like, I don't know if I like black. It didn't pop to me. It kind of hid. It was way too big to stick up there. I liked it on the gold, but the black, and you could call me wrong on that. I mean, do you guys like the black? And then I was like, well, I got craft. Let me try craft. And it blended too much with the gold. Cold and craft, it just was too similar. And I was like, nah. And I was like, okay, well, let me try white. I've got lots of white going on here. And I threw the white on there and I was like, whoa, there it is. It just went poof, and it popped off. So I will try different things, even though these are what I call pretty standard colors, like neutral, black, craft, and white. Those are my go-tos if I need something to kind of pop off a color. And the other 2 work, but I love the white the best. So that's what I went with. So that's what we're doing. We're doing white. And you could totally change it up. You could have some fun. So I already die cut those up because you guys know what die cutting looks like. And then I'm going to run that through my Xyron sticker makers because that makes my life easy. Because it's so delicate and finagly. And hey, look, now it's a sticker. Ta-da! Makes my life simple. And then pull it out. Who else is here? I did try to set the white off the black. So yeah, before I pull that off and play around with it. So I was doing all different kinds of renditions. I was doing like layering them up, and I was doing stuff like that. And I mean, that could look cool, but I just didn't like it. This is me personally. I didn't like it as much. I was also playing around with like this one. So I was playing around with like doing stuff like that. So you can definitely layer the dies. And then I was like, well, what about the other way around? What if I did just the black on the, and that's how I pulled out the white. I was like, well, maybe I could pop the white underneath and that would help it and make it pop better. I like just the white personally, but there's a lot of ways you could do that. So you could have fun with that. So don't, just because you're like, okay, you have an idea and you love that, maybe it's the color. So just try a different color, especially when it comes to like a die cut, just die cut it out and again, another color, especially if it's white or if it's black or if it's like a neutral color. I guess navy could be considered neutral. I'm not calling that Christmas. You could do that in a red. It might look really good in a red, a good solid red that would match the background papers. I wouldn't do it in the pattern though. I think that would be just too much. Way too busy. Too much going on. And the way I look at it is I've got a pattern in the background. There's a design happening here. And then there's the foil. And then I've got layers. And then I've got kind of this, you know, fancy die that's got words. You don't need to add too much to this card because it's already got a lot happening. And truly, could you just leave the card like that? Yep. You could totally leave it. You wouldn't even have to add anything more to it. So, but you know what? Your cards, you make the choice. This is such a great mass production card. The second one is even easier as a mass production card. This one I got a little finagly. I'm just being very cautious pulling this off because I don't want to rip my die. And I want to leave all of my sticky on there. And I'm going to show you the trick to make sure you get rid of your cobwebs. It's really easy. Just lay this on here. It's already kind of fun and scripty, so there's really no, like, it must be perfect. I mean, the Mary, you might want to pop it up a little bit, but there we go. And I thought it fit quite nicely on here. So you just take your finger and just kind of take care of the cobwebs. And because the background's already kind of got that, oh good, my camera's not attached to my desk, so it's not wobbling everything. I can go to town. I was afraid my camera was like going everywhere. So just keep just kind of rubbing your finger on it, and then you're good to go. And, you know, I'm not going to spend tons of time, but it really just hides in there. And there you go. Super simple, super, super simple. Love it. And I just love that pop of that white. It almost looks like you took the foil and die cut out and you're seeing the white behind that was on there, you know, with like a kind of like a fake out in a way. So yeah, see the white, I just like the white better. Doesn't mean you can't do it a different way. Totally different. Now, take a look at how different the card looks, just as a glance, between having the more of the red and then having with the white with the swirls. It looks like a different card just because there's got a little bit of different background on the back there. You could even pull a green and put that back there. You could do a black on the back. I just wanted a little bit of something. But yeah, that background paper, you could totally do whatever color you wanted, or again, like I said, leave it white. Your call on that one too. So that is the first one. Using a printable to your advantage, having fun with that, and just really letting that foil go crazy. I love it. Okay, the next one, even simpler. Now, I was fiddling around. This is the next thing I fiddled around with. I was like, oh, and when I first saw this printable and I put it down, this was the one that I liked first, and then I did the deer after that. Now I'm liking the deer better because I see it in the foil, and I like it better with the foil with that massive, like with the gold in the background. I just love that and that little hint of the deer up there. I don't know, just it looks cool. But I originally went with the trees. So with the trees, what I liked the best about it was like, oh, I can just stick a die across the top and I'm good to go. And I was like, ugh, I don't like that. And then I went to this one and I was like, okay, black. Black's got to be the winner. I can easily put black on there. And I was like, ugh, I don't like that. Well, maybe white's the winner. Nope. So I was like, you know what? We're leaving it plain. And then I tried a smaller die. You know, I was just trying to put something across it and it was just too busy. There was too much happening. It took away from the tree. And I was like, well, what if I put like a banner across and then put the die? And I was like, I'm grasping at straws at this point. It's just not worth it. So I left it plain. I just went with simple. And there it is. So I'm going to take I'm going to change it up because we've already used this paper here. So let's change it up. Let's use this paper and back it and do the same backing, change it up. Now this one, I did put a stitching all the way around. Let's try it without the stitching. Let's see what it looks like. And there's one final thing we are going to do to these cards. So, which we'll get to it after I'm done with this, because I'm going to do the same thing to both. Super simple. A little stamp of sentiment on the inside. So think about all the fun things. You could even just go into Word or to Google Docs and you could type out Merry Christmas, and you could do it really big, Merry Christmas, and get all scripty, print it on your laser printer, throw it through the laminator, and how simple of a card would that be? And look how pretty it would be because it has a beautiful scripted font. You could do Merry and Bright. You could just do a simple happy birthday and it looks so cool because you've done stuff to it. You could even add like little stars around the edge. You do not have to get fancy with some special Photoshop and everything. Pick a cool font, maybe do 2 different fonts, you know, like Merry is one font and Christmas is the second font. You know, it's super simple and it really does have a wow factor. Find a cool printable. There's so many free printables out there. And I bet you as time goes on, getting closer to Christmas, people are going to be putting more and more printables up. Look, that was even easier, right? How simple was that? I just did matte, done. This one got a little fancier because we did the die that was on there. But that's it. All right, so the last step, because we've got, especially for this card, there's nothing happening. It's just Christmas trees on the front. I wanted to add a little bit of something, and I just got this stamp set in from my friend Ann Butler. She makes the cutest stamps. So this is one of her more sparkle, less stress. And then when I saw the title for the stamp set, and I had the foil on here, it's like, oh, I have to use it. And there's a sentiment on here. Let me read all of them for you. So this is the one I used. May your Christmas, okay, this Christmas, I wish you more sparkle and less stress. I was like, that is perfect. I could not have found a better title for this particular set of cards if I tried. Other ones are on here. Christmas memories are timeless treasures to hold in your heart forever. That's this one right here. Sorry about the glare. Wishing a holiday season filled with joy and happiness. May the blessings of the season fill your heart and home. A little Christmas magic makes everything better. So you get a whole series of stamps. They're rubber mounted. You peel off the backing and you have a beautiful stamp. So we're just going to stamp on the inside, and that's what I did. I just went in with some black ink. So I'm going to use some black ink and line this up as best as I can. I was hoping I didn't do that upside down. You had no idea. I was thinking as I was stamping, I'm like, oh crud, did I do that upside down? Nope, I did it right. I did it right. I'm a smarty pants. All right, and then stamp on the inside. And it gives you just a little bit of something. You could add another layer on the inside. So now we've got 4 beautiful cards. Doesn't take long at all. The Christmas trees go super fast. I even, whoops, there goes my computer. I even, just to show you, where my tree thing went. So just to show you, I was playing around going, okay, do you think it would line up just perfectly? So here's our tree, right? I'm like, what if I shifted just a tiny, tiny bit and like angled it? Could I get a second round? And there it is. You can get a second round of trees with the same sheet because look how much space there is in between. You just shift it and then I would tape it. And I have done that. You can go through as long as you don't cover up where you're trying to foil. So, I mean, just shift a tiny bit, get in there perfectly, try and figure out exactly where you can't have it. And even if you made a mistake, you could always go back like I did with this little guy and add a little bit of foil, so run it through a second time so you're not wasting your entire foil paper. So you can get a lot out of this. I just think they're super cute. They're cute, they're fun. They're some self shiny. They're awesome. All right, cute. They are such cute sentiments. I love it. Let's see who else. Hi, Joyce. Let's see who else has popped on. I think I've got everybody who's popped on. So thanks so much for stopping by for my live card making. Back next Wednesday. More fun stuff happening this. So basically, I'm doing videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Hopefully, to getting another one in there. I've just gotten swamped with a lot of stuff going on in the background here, so I'm going to try and get more video to you. I am also headed to Creativation, which is the big trade show where a lot of these vendors for the supplies you see. So and I do video while I'm there. So if you are interested in me videoing a company and seeing their latest and greatest and what is coming out with them, then drop me a line, let me know, leave a comment, and I will make sure I swing by their booth for card making, stamps, like Lawn Fauna's there, Gina K is there. I mean, so many companies. So if there's somebody like, I want to see what they have, I want a booth tour, I want to see what make and take they're doing, I want to see what the new releases are for those particular companies, I will be doing a ton of video while I'm there. I'm also working some of the booths there too. So I'll be checking out and I'll be doing some booth tours of the booths I'm helping in and doing stuff. And there's just lots of kind of cool stuff going on. So wait for those videos coming up. And I will be also bringing back some great ideas to show you guys from that trade show. So that's part of why I go. Got a couple classes I'm going to, a couple classes I'm assisting in. Not teaching anything like 100% besides on the show floor. I always do demos, but I don't have a specific class I'm teaching this year. That I decided to back off, especially with all my health stuff. I was like, I don't think I'm going to have it in me to prep all that mess. So anyway, thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to check out my Instagram, my Facebook, my Pinterest. All Erin Reed Makes is the handles for that. My blog as well, Erin Reed Makes. And I will see you guys again soon. And don't forget, coming up at the end of the month, fun stuff coming on with Glaminator. So stay tuned for that. All right. Bye, everybody.